Hello everyone, I'm Eden and welcome back to the Ace Attorney Apollo Justice Trilogy. We are still on the first case of the first game and we are defending Phoenix Wright, and we're gonna find out some more information hopefully about what the heck's going on because Phoenix is being very mysterious. That was quite unexpected, Mr. Wright. To suddenly claim there was another person at the scene of the crime like that? I must ask, is it the truth? I don't think he would lie. Well, now, I'd think you would know the answer to that. Being mysterious, are we? That's what I was saying. You would think if you're on trial for murder, you would just be upfront with all the facts from the beginning. Sadly, I have no time for mysteries. I'd only ask that you leave the defending to your defense in the future. Otherwise, I cannot guarantee the outcome. I see you haven't mellowed out one bit, Christoph. Justice? Yes, sir? The judge has summoned me to his chambers, so carry on without me. You did well, Apollo. Can I ask you something? Sure. That locket you wear, is that really yours, Mr. Wright? Ah, you're wondering about the victim's disappearing locket? Here, you can take a look at it. That's what I wanted to do earlier. That's a picture of my daughter in there. Phoenix Wright has a daughter. Oh, she's so precious. What's her name? I'm just surprised to hear you had a daughter. Most people are. Perhaps you'll meet her one of these days. One more question. Who's the mom? The one who cheated that night. Was it you? What do you think? Huh? You know what happened 7 years ago. What I did. What did you... Wait, what? Okay, are we about to get the lore about how he ended up a gambling punk? It's not unreasonable for you to think I might cheat. I never, honest, but it is odd that he managed to go undefeated for 7 whole years. Want to know something? There's only one game where you can be dealt bad cards all night and still win. Poker. You see, poker is all about reading your opponent. In that way, well, I guess he is an attorney. He's probably good at reading people. In that case, it's a lot like a court case. Poker is like trial law. Figure out what your opponent is thinking and you win. Well, yeah, but that's harder than it sounds. I think not. Try as they might to conceal it, everyone reveals their true thoughts in the end. Their body language can become a valuable source of information. You're kidding. That witness, for instance, Miss Orly? She was a little fidgety, wasn't she? She would touch the back of her neck during certain parts of her testimony. Oh, did you notice? No? Come on, who noticed that? Words, habits, twitches, it's all information for the reading. That's the secret to winning, Apollo. Someone taught me, and now I pass the secret on to you. But we're not worthy. I mean, there's no way I'll pick up on these signals. No, you can do it. Huh? You just don't know it yet. What's he talking about? But you will, soon. Almost forgot. One more thing. About this case. You should know, I haven't told the truth to anyone. You need to tell us. We're your defense attorneys. Tell us. What? I knew it. I have my reasons, of course. All shall be revealed. And Apollo, I need you to be there, defending me. I need your power. My power? I had no idea my cords of steel were that special. It's time. The real trial begins now. Do your best. Ooh, to be continued, except we're continuing right now. Yes. Save. Save. Yes, please. Thank you. Okay. Yes. Next chapter. April 20th, 12:14 p.m., District Court, courtroom number 2. We are back in the courtroom. Court will now reconvene. Has our witness, Miss Olga Orly, recovered? Yes, Your Honor. Well, she's regained consciousness. Perhaps we can hear her version of events again? That's the thing, you see, she's quite fatigued. You're looking a bit fatigued yourself, Mr. Payne. Sadly, fatigue is insufficient grounds for refusing to testify or prosecute. The defense would like to request that Miss Orly take the stand. Very well, the witness will take the stand. Your cute act isn't fooling us. Perhaps you could repeat your name and profession? Or perhaps you'd rather admit that you're a poor liar and a poor loser. Yeah. Not. Whoa. What? Name's Olga Orly. That's the truth. I'm a pro dealer. People call me Olga Quickfingers Orly. She looks like a pirate. Oh really? Want to know something else? I'm not really Russian, and my last name sounds like, oh really? There, that's the truth. I hope you're satisfied. Witness, you will tell the court what you were really up to that night. Fine, I'll talk. We had a plan, see? Let me remind you that you are currently under oath. Any further fabrications will have serious consequences. Fine. These games are so ridiculous. I love it. Like I said, I'm a pro. That guy Smith hired me to do what I do best. I was planted at the Borscht Bowl Club several days prior to the night of the game, as a waitress. So you were in cahoots with the victim. Not that he needed my help. Smith is a well-known poker player in some circles. But winning wasn't the main purpose of this game. It was about destroying a legend, the unbeatable Phoenix Wright. The plan was simple. Elegant, really. You see, we set up a trap of sorts. I was to plant a card in Wright's pocket beforehand, and then deal 5 aces during one of their games. When their hands were revealed, Smith would call him out and search Wright. Okay, that's what she meant earlier when she said she planted the card on him. Because at first I thought she was trying to insinuate she was in cahoots with Phoenix. He would then pull out the planted card and the trap would snap shut. You swapped the cards! Uh-oh, low battery. Exposed as a cheater and losing on top of it, it would have made a great double play. Just like that, the legend would be dashed to pieces. Okay, I'm gonna change my controllers, hold on. Indeed. Getting caught red-handed at cheating would cast doubt on all his prior wins. A 7-year legend destroyed by one little card. That was the plan. Oh really, Orly? Oh really, oh really? I just realized it literally is oh really without all the vowels. This game's so funny. How droll. But it appears you made quite the mistake. A mistake? I agree, the trap was elegant. Yet, what happened to that planted card? Hey, that's right. He's lucky, I'll give him that. You'd have to be to slip free from a trap laid by Olga Quickfingers Orly. Oh, really? The witness would be much cuter if she dispensed with the evil mastermind shtick. Cute? Who wants to be cute? I'm not cute. I'm bad. You hear me? Bad. When you're through being bad, perhaps you could testify to the court? Tell us about this trap and how it was sprung. The best laid traps. That night, I planted the card like I was supposed to, and Wright lost the last hand, just like he was supposed to. Then Smith searched him. But the planted card was gone. The trap failed. The next moment, Wright picked up a bottle and swung it. It wasn't me who hit Smith, it was that no-good cheating defendant. A surprisingly frank testimony that still leaves us mostly in the dark. The trap was perfect, I tell you, perfect, if that rotten cheater hadn't messed it up. Look who's talking. Well, the testimony, for what it's worth, is all yours, Mr. Justice. With witnesses like her, who needs criminals? And with defendants like Mr. Wright, who needs prosecutors? Let's see, what do we want to press her on? The best laid traps. That night I planted let's start with you. This planted card. Which card was it exactly? The trump card. The 5 of hearts. Let me guess. Mr. Wright was to have switched the 5 with the ace to make a full house. At least that's what you were going to accuse him of doing, thereby ruining his legend. I slid it into Mr. Wright's pocket. When was this? Why, before the match, of course. While he was eating. At the Borscht Bowl Club, we serve borscht and suckers. Remind me never to go there. Of course, the card was to make its grand debut during the game. Like a good borscht, a good plot must be cooked up early and allowed to thicken. Let's see. So everything went according to plan. Exactly. The 5th ace came up, so it's obvious the switch went off without a hitch. Once the extra card was found in his pocket, Wright would be forever known as a cheat and a fraud. There are worse things to be known as, I suppose. What? That's pretty bad. Tell us what happened with the search. Planted card was gone. The trap. Oops, no, go back. I want to press around this one. The card disappeared? Yeah, my trump card, the 5 of hearts. Gone. Without a trace. Poof, zippo. We searched every nook and cranny, even inside his cute little hat. But the card was nowhere to be found. Is this correct? Never in my long, storied career. Never has Quickfingers Orly been so readily duped. Oh really? So what did happen to that 5 of hearts? Don't look at me. Why don't you ask that cheating, lying, two-faced defendant? So the 5 of hearts is still missing in action. Wait, Isn't that a little odd? What's odd? You searched Mr. Wright thoroughly and found nothing, which means he didn't cheat, which means he had no reason to strike the victim. Well... Ooh. Oh, she's doing a tell. Oh, I see. What was that just now? I sensed something. Something wrong, Mr. Justice? No, nothing, Your Honor. What to do? Should I press her a little harder? Yes. Miss Orly, you're hiding something. What are you talking about? Me? Quick fingers Orly? Hide something? The defense will refrain from baseless accusations. I have one question for the witness then. You say you saw the moment the defendant hit the victim. Is this true? Of course it's true. I did see it, honest. I saw it when Mr. Wright hit him. Oop, there she go again. I saw it when Mr. Wright hit him. With my own eyes. I saw it. What's this weird vibe I'm getting? Is it like a psychic sense? That witness, for instance, Miss Orly. She would touch the back of her neck during certain parts of her testimony. Did you notice? Well, I'm noticing now. Touching her neck, was it? I hope it does that every time so that it's really obvious. Ooh. Whoa, what's going on? This sensation. It's coming into focus. There, that twitch. It's so clear. It's like I could perceive her habit, like I couldn't before. Perceive? Oh, that's a new mechanic. Perceive. Gotcha. Miss Orly, perhaps you're unaware of this yourself. Don't tell her. Unaware of what? Whenever you get to a certain part of your testimony, don't tell her she's giving it away. She's gonna stop. You touch the back of your neck with your left hand. My neck? So what? What indeed, Justice? I hadn't noticed anything of the sort. When she says that part of the testimony, she's subconsciously recalling something. Her body reacts to the memory and she touches her neck. I'm sure of it. A memory? Would someone care to explain what he's babbling about? This is highly unusual, but let's ask the defense. You claim the witness is remembering something. Maybe you have evidence of this memory to show us? Her habit is scratching her neck whenever she talks about the moment of the crime. So what would remind her of most of the moment of the crime? Miss Orly, whenever you recall the crime that night, you scratch your neck. I've noticed it happens when you think about the moment of the crime. There must be some reason behind this habit of yours. I believe the weapon that left an erasable impression on your neck is this. This? But she said, they're saying neck. I wonder if, well, I'm not sure. I don't know if them saying neck is something trying to hint, but I don't know what it would be. Whenever she talks about the moment of the crime, she touches her neck. It reminds us more of that moment than this bottle, the murder weapon. But something doesn't fit. If you're only the witness to the crime, why would that make you touch your neck like you're in pain? What's he talking about now? It was Mr. Smith, the victim, who was hit. Not you. This is a cross-examination, not a cross-wild conjecture. The witness's habits? They're completely irrelevant. Justice, I'll admit, I'm a bit confused myself. This is certainly a unique cross-examination. I'll explain later. I can perceive. Just trust me, now's our only chance to break her. Miss Orly, please testify in detail about the moment of the crime. The very moment. Oh, come on. Yet, I am knowing nothing. She's going back into character. You're not fooling us. We know you're not Russian. The witness will testify, please. Now. Tee-hee. Bah, fine. He's the one who did it. I didn't let him out of my sight until the cops got there. Different personality, but the same testimony. I believe you have her where you want her, Justice. The circumstances have changed, yet her testimony is not. That means there's got to be a contradiction in there. Quite. Oh, okay. Let's see. Wright lost the hand. The planted card was gone. The trap failed. The next moment, Wright picked up a bottle and swung it. He's the one who did it. I didn't let him out of my sight until the cops got there. Well, we know that he had to go up to the first floor because of the cell phone reception. You seem uneasy. You try standing up here. Your eyes are darting all over the place. I must be getting warm. Tell me, after the crime, what was the defendant like? Well, he must have been stunned by the weight of his crime. He sat in a daze at that table until the cops came. No, he didn't. Intriguing. I believe you've gotten all the testimony you're going to get out of this witness. So what do you think about her testimony? I'll tell you what I think. Her testimony is flawed. Is basically bogus. It contradicts the evidence. What's that? Well, show us this evidence, Mr. Justice. This evidence that you claim contradicts the testimony. She didn't let him out of her sight until the cops got there. I know there's some evidence that contradicts that. Ooh, yeah, see? I'm about to get penalized if I'm wrong. I think it's a cell phone. Let me present this. Miss Orly, we have a record here that clearly contradicts what you said. It states that the police were alerted by a report from the defendant. And we know that the defendant left the room, climbed the stairs, and made that phone call from the first floor of the Borscht Bowl Club. So, explain how you kept your eyes on the defendant when he left the room entirely. The man who picked up a bottle and swung it that night wasn't the defendant. Yeah, who's this fourth person? Oh, it did show us the first episode. It did show a painter in the room. Showdown time. You dirty cheat. Check his pockets, now. It's gone. The card's gone. You lose. Ah. Just then, Smith grabbed the bottle from next to Wright, and he hit me. Whoa, oh, what? You, some master of cheating you turned out to be. Oh, so he was mad at her for messing it up. So then what did he get hit with? When I came to, the victim was already dead. Is that it? That's why I couldn't reveal who I really was. If it came out that I was in league with Smith, I'd be a suspect for sure. Well, where does this leave us? Madness. This is madness. I'm dreaming. It must have been me who was hit with a bottle, and I'm imagining all of this. It appears our prosecution is at his wit's end, and frankly, I can't blame him. Mr. Gavin, what do you think about this turn of events? Mr. Gavin? I believe that, as the defense in this case, we are compelled to call Miss Orly a big fat liar. That's a very professional term. What? 3 were in the room that night of the murder. The defendant, the victim, and her. And she has a motive. A motive? Her plot foiled. Oh, so maybe she wanted to kill him so that nobody knew that she messed up so she could continue doing her bad things. The witness got into an argument with her client. Her plot foiled. The witness got into an argument with her client, Mr. Smith. And the I don't know that word. And the denouement of that argument was murder. What? I didn't. I'm no killer. It's a trap. Someone's trying to frame me. What tangled webs we weave when we practice to deceive. Okay, Phoenix, can you just tell us what's going on, man? So tangled, we catch ourselves in the process. Mr. Wright? Such a hasty conclusion. It's not like you, Christoph Gavin. What are you saying? Why not consider the other possibility? That there was another person in the room at the time of the murder. Right, like Mr. Wright was saying before recess. A single card was swapped into the victim's hand after the murder. And the one who swapped the card didn't know 2 colors of cards were being used. A 4th person. Ha! This theory again, your 4th person doesn't exist. Well, I mean... Indeed. That's why I decided to bring this case to court. Here, where there's no escape and no chance for deception. The perfect place to catch the real criminal. The real criminal? And we're in luck. A clue to the real criminal's identity was kindly provided for us. Right at the beginning of the trial, no less. What? Apollo, perhaps you know what I'm talking about? Sorry. Remember what I said. The 4th person who swapped the cards made one critical error. He or she wasn't considering the color on the backs of the cards. Right. But how could such an obvious mistake occur? The cards used for the last game were red. Yet, there is one person here in our court who thought those cards were blue. Yeah, I had that impression too, but why? Well, Apollo, think you can figure out who it was? Wait, I don't remember who said that. It's not me, I swear. Who is this fourth person? Why do I always get put on the spot like this? Wait, oh, I forgot who said that. Let's hear what the defense has to say. Who was it? Who thought the cards used in the final game were blue? Oh my god, I was not paying attention. Wait, was it Kristoff? I think it may have been Kristoff. I guess we'll try that. As I expected. Your eyes and ears are as sharp as your hair. I was right? Kristoff Gavin, you were the fourth person that night, not my mentor. Something bad always happens to the mentors in these games. But of course Mr. Gavin knows the color of the cards. How would he? As you can see, the photo of the crime scene is black and white. Oh. You can't tell which of the cards are blue, the ones on the floor or the table. But look. You can see the colors in this photo. Not really. Oh, well, sort of. Yes, but when he said the cards were blue, it was well before this evidence came to light. Yeah, he said something about it being on the floor, right? It was true that the defendant was engaged in a game of poker with the victim. It was only that, a game, in the purest sense. A competition, Your Honor. A competition? Yes, a test of wits, a silent clash of passions. Only the cards, their backs writhed in blue flame, know its final outcome. Wreathed. Well, Kristoff? Mr. Gavin? Mr. Gavin! Is something the matter? No, nothing. Excuse me, it was just so sudden. Right? You weren't seriously accusing me, are you? Oh, Kristoff? You know, even I'd never take a joke this far. Ooh, throwing his friend under the bus? Well, I guess they're throwing each other under the bus. This has gone beyond ridiculous, beyond dumb. This is insanity. The defendant accusing his own defense attorney of murder? I assure you, I'm quite sane. But what possible connection could Mr. Gavin have to the victim? I wasn't aware that I had a connection to Mr. Smith either. Yes, but Mr. Gavin and the victim have never even met. Well, what if they have? Huh? There's a possibility, after all. They may have met that night, before the game started. What are you suggesting? Is this the truth Mr. Wright was saying? Oh, well, I guess that would make sense. If it was his friend that was involved, maybe that's why he's being so mysterious. I mean, but if I was gonna go... Sorry, I like my friends. I love my friends, but if they killed somebody, I would not go to jail for them. Is this the truth Mr. Wright was staying silent about? Well, only one thing to do. Mr. Wright, the defense would like to request that you testify to the court. Of course he would object to that. The defense would like to request no such thing. Mr. Gavin? Testimonies must relate to the case. How could anything happening before that game of poker be related? I mean, if you have nothing to hide, then you wouldn't care what's said, right? I'm not sure I follow, Mr. Gavin. As I explained before, the defense believes that Miss Orly... No. Am I to assume you speak for Mr. Justice in this? He is the defense, not you. Mr. Justice, the matter of Mr. Wright's testimony is up to you. Oh, okay. Does the court, in your opinion, need to hear Mr. Wright's testimony? Yeah. This was Mr. Wright's strategy. He was planning this all along, and I intend to see it through. The defense would like to request that Mr. Wright testify to the court. Et tu, Justice? You would betray me, your teacher? I'm sorry, Mr. Gavin, this isn't about loyalty. This is about the truth and justice. Very well, the defendant. Mr. Wright will take the stand, please. Appetite before murder. That evening, Kristoff and I had dinner. We sat at the table in this photograph. Look at this photograph. I already did that joke, sorry. Shady Smith walked in 5 minutes after Kristoff left. When the trap failed, Smith hit the waitress. The girl was knocked out cold and Smith was uncontrollable. I left to call the police. When I returned, he was dead, blood streaming from a cut on his forehead. That's when I made another phone call to defense attorney Gavin. Mr. Gavin, you were at the Borscht Bowl Club at the night of the murder? I dine with him rather frequently. And he talked to the defendant on the phone directly after the murder? Quite against my will, I had become involved in a murder. I thought I might be in need of a lawyer, so I called him. You were planning this all along, weren't you, Wright? just because you wanted to drag me into your little murder trial. The only thing I want is the truth, as I did back then and now. I thought my office was doing you a favor when we took on your defense. It appears that I was wrong. Very well. The defense may cross-examine the witness. Justice? Sir? He's lying, and you're going to expose him. He's our client. Understood, sir. Mr. Gavin versus Mr. Wright. This can't end well. Why can't I have a normal trial? All right, well. That evening, Christoph and I had dinner. We sat at the table in this photo. Okay. You had dinner with Mr. Gavin? Yes, he dines with me at the Borscht Bowl Club quite frequently. We were enjoying a usual dinner at our usual spot, as usual. I always eat at the table closest to the piano. I see. Where Mr. Smith was sitting. So the plates and such on the table were from your dinner? Indeed. The remnants of my meal with Christoph. We dined for 2 hours, then Christoph left. After that, Shady Smith walked in 5 minutes after Christoph left. 5 minutes? So the two of them could have passed in the restaurant during that time? That would have been a fateful encounter, to be sure. Hehehe. Oh, Mr. Wright. What was it you said? Christoph Gavin and Shady Smith may have met. May have met, in quotes. I believe I did say that. Here I was all nervous about this meeting. And now we hear they just passed the hall? That does seem a little weak as a pretense for murder. Well, maybe he left because he knew Shady was coming in and they had already worked something out. Oh, my dog's scratching at the door. That does seem a little weak as a pretense for murder. Oh, it would be, if that were all that really happened. Come on, Mr. Wright. What are you hiding this time? When the trap failed, Smith hit the waitress. Like maybe Christoph was involved in this whole scheme to uncover Phoenix? Or to try to frame Phoenix as a cheater. About this failed trap. This is the same trap that Miss Olga Orly mentioned? The plan was simple. Elegant, really. You see, we set up a trap of sorts. I was to plant a card in Phoenix Wright's pocket beforehand, and then deal 5 aces during one of their games. When their hands were revealed, Smith would call me out, or would call him out and search Wright. He would then pull out the planted card and the trap would snap shut. You swapped the cards. Just like that, the legend would be dashed to pieces. We still don't know where the missing planted card is. Yes, a harmless prank, in essence. It was by a quirk of fate that I happened to discover it. A quirk? I happened to put my hand in my pocket and found a card. The card she planted. Okay, so he found it during the game. Yes, I snuck a peek at it and found it was the 5 of hearts. I had a feeling something might happen, so I disposed of the card before the game. Disposed? Where? There's an empty bottle of grape juice I had been drinking right beside me. I threw the card inside the bottle. An empty bottle of grape juice. The murder weapon? No way, I didn't see it in there. What? Yes, I rolled it up and shoved it in. The colored glass makes it hard to see. A battle of wits between the deceiver and the would-be deceived. That sounds like terrific drama. A card inside the murder weapon? That's strange. Did the police miss it in their investigation? Maybe I'll take a look. Let's, I guess take a better look? Where? I literally don't see anything. So we can zoom in. I think that's gonna help. I don't think there's anything else to click on. Okay. Mr. Wright, the poker head of courtroom number 3 approves of this battle of wits. Please revise your testimony with this new information. I discovered the trap during the game and disposed of the card in the bottle. The girl was knocked out cold. When I returned, he was dead. Blood streaming from a cut on his forehead. That's when I made another phone call to defense attorney Gavin. Let me present the bottle because I really don't see anything in there. Mr. Wright, if I may? Yes? I've examined the bottle and I don't see any card in here. No? What? Mr. Wright? Surely isn't blank isn't all you have to say for yourself. I can't say that I know what happened to the card. Okay, so it is still missing. I did put it in that bottle, however. Perhaps a fifth person came and took it out. Oh, and a sixth person could have helped. Okay, you being sarcastic is not helping. Mr. Gavin, Mr. Wright is your client. Exactly. My apologies, Your Honor. I won't have you disparaging our investigation either. We looked inside that bottle. There was nothing. So what's going on? Is Mr. Wright hoodwinking us again? Or did the car just disappear? Maybe it's a different bottle? They got the wrong bottle? In any case, please continue the cross-examination. I'm afraid decisive contradictions call for decisive evidence. Oh. Push him harder, Justice. Break him. It's just you and the witness in the ring. Go for the KO. Ugh, why do I get the feeling we're not on our client's side anymore? Yeah. Okay, so I need to press him on something else. I guess I'll just keep pressing. You made the call to the police from the first floor of the restaurant, correct? Exactly. Cell phones don't get a signal in the hideout. Was anyone else on the first floor at the time? Not a soul. It was the middle of the night after all. So there, in the darkened restaurant, I called the cops. After making the call, I returned to the hideout. It didn't seem right to leave the injured waitress alone. And when you returned, the victim was already dead. Yes, I'll admit it. I was a little startled when I walked in. A little? He was bleeding from his forehead, after all. I guess I'd be startled too if I walked in on a scene like that. This one? Could you explain why you called Mr. Gavin? I'd obviously gotten involved in a rather sticky affair, and I figured Kristoff's law offices would give me a friend rate for my defense fees. Ah, glad to hear you intend to pay. Oh, I'll pay in full, Kristoff. It was I who got you involved, after all. You may find the price of your defense quite high, my good friend. Quite high. Is this the truth that Mr. Wright was talking about? Justice, you know what you have to do. He's lying. Expose him. Now. Yes, sir. I have to think. What's Mr. Wright trying to tell me with his testimony? Oh my gosh, my dog keeps scratching at the door. The truth has to be in there somewhere. Okay, so I'm missing something here. Blood streaming from a cut on his forehead. So that's true. Looking at this, he did have a cut on his forehead. Okay. What do I need to present on? I discovered the trap during the game and disposed of the card in the bottle. Well, wait, there's a card. Oh, I'm blocking it. Hold on. Here. I'm gonna... How do I do this? Make myself go away. Do you see in the bottom left corner? There's a card there. Is that the card? I'm gonna present this. I might be wrong. I might lose here. This evidence clearly reveals a contradiction in that statement. Okay, I'm wrong. Okay, yeah, I lost. Dang it. I was wrong. Okay, yep, lost a point. I might be overthinking it. I don't think that won me any points with the judge. Okay, I need to try again here. When I return to his dead, blood streaming from a cut on his forehead. So that goes with this. Oh, this is the other crime scene photo. Oh, here he has this hat on. How would he have known? Okay, oh yeah, okay, so hat removed during investigation. So this is what he would have come back to. So he wouldn't have seen this. Okay, let's try that. Mr. Wright, if I may. Yes? Take a look at this photograph of the crime scene. See the victim here? He's wearing a hat. I wouldn't think you could see blood on his forehead. Good point. Justice. Next time you point out an inconsistency, put a little more oomph into it. Mr. Wright, can you explain this to the court? I forgot to mention something. I was the one who put that hat on his head. You put the hat on the dead man's head? He wore it through our entire poker game. After calling the police, when I returned to the scene, his head was in full view. Oh, what? Shining bright, just like in this photograph. He's making fun of his bald head and he's dead. And? I picked his hat up off the floor and put it on his head. Why'd you do such a thing like that? All I can say is, I'm sorry. But that's the only thing I touched at the crime scene. No, it's not. So, Miss Orly didn't see it? It being the victim's, his head? Because he definitely touched the bottle. It's got his fingerprints. I think not. She was out cold. I believe I was the only one who witnessed his head. Ah, here we go again. Mr. Gavin? Pardon. It just seems that our client is determined to lie his way through this case. Hey, he's still our client. And your friend, isn't he? I believe that's enough of that. Mr. Gavin? This witness's testimony is more like a travesty. It's riddled with lies. I'm beginning to see how you come to lose your attorney's... Oh, you came to lose your attorney's badge 7 years ago. I really want to know what happened. Well, you certainly have a unique way of treating your clients, Christoph. I never knew. I believe it was you who threw the first stone. Mr. Wright, if you intend to ever tell the truth about this case, it's now or never. Don't be misled. I haven't told a single lie here. Yeah, he's just withholding truths. When I noticed the trap, I put the card in the bottle to dispose of it. And when I put the hat on the victim's head, let's just say I had a reason for doing that as well. A reason? That reason is right here. Your cell phone? That night, recall that I spoke with defense attorney Gavin after calling the police. Just in case, I recorded our conversation. Sneaky. What's this? Now that we're all here, I see no reason why I shouldn't play it back for the court. He's got the tea. Christoph, I seem to be in a bit of trouble. What's this? Game not going well? Something like that. That gentleman who challenged you, he turned out to be good? He turned out to be dead. Someone hit him hard. You mean someone cracked that flawless bone china plate? It wasn't you, was it? Me? Please. The cop should be here any minute. I'm in your hands. Should it come to that. Bone china plate. A kind of porcelain. Very smooth and shiny. Not plate, but pate? 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 What? I believe he was referring to a certain gentleman's balding forehead. So how would he know what he looked like if he'd already left? I think that's where we're going with this. The court appreciates the defendant's discretion in not indicating my forehead. Wait a second. Something's not right about that phone call. So after Mr. Gavin ate dinner with you, he left the Borscht Bowl Club? Most certainly. Then how did he know? When did he see this bone china pate? What? I don't know what that word is. Oh, that's right. Yes. That was when I began to see my good friend in a different light. Ooh? Troubled, I returned to the crime scene. And when I spotted Mr. Smith's head again, I realized exactly what was wrong. Well, Mr. Gavin, the stage has been set. Perhaps you would like to explain this to the court? Exactly how did you come by your privileged knowledge of the victim's head? So, this is your reason. The reason why you put the victim's hat back on. Your point, Mr. Gavin? It's come down to this, has it? Phoenix Wright. Order. I will have order. Mr. Payne? Yes, Your Honor. I believe this court has been left with no other choice. Are you prepared to hear defense attorney Gavin's testimony? Well, as a prosecutor, Very well. We'll break for 10 minutes, after which Mr. Gavin will take the stand for a cross-examination. Are we all clear on that? Crystal clear, Your Honor. Very well. This will be the final recess for the day. April 20th, 2:32 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3. Well, we will find out what Christoph Gavin has to say in the next episode. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. And if you enjoyed your time, leave a like and say hi down in the comments below. And consider subscribing if you want to catch more of this series. And I'll see you guys in the next episode of Ace Attorney Apollo Justice Trilogy.